Well, let's get started. Hey, it's Kirk Duncan, and welcome to our training tonight about how you can be an empath and create $10,000 a month in coaching and teaching other people. So I see that there's a lot of you here this evening, and I just wanted to find out, are you excited for this? If so, click that raise the hand button there at the bottom of your screen or wherever your Zoom bar is. You know that there's a little hand there. Click that. Make sure that works. Oh, there you are. I can see the hands going up. Super cool to be with you. Very excited to talk to you and to be able to talk to you about what's going on in your life. What's happening to you? You know, you've got this special ability to be able to connect with people, but it's like, what do you do with it? How do you help people? How do you really use this to be able to make a difference in other people's lives? Now, first, of course, I'm gonna talk about a little bit about empaths and about what and who they are, and be able to kind of get some clarity there, so you're in the right place at the right time. Also, just to clarify, my name's Kirk Duncan, and I've been doing training now and seminars now for over 17 years, and I love it. Spent 15 of those 17 years doing live seminars. And now we are doing webinars, and it's cool because we get to reach people all over the world. Do I miss the live seminars? Absolutely. I miss those live seminars. It's just fantastic experiences. We were doing a live seminar every month for 15 years. I mean, literally a 3-day seminar every single month. It's just what we do. We help people. We help people in big ways. So much that they can turn around and help their friends, help their kids, help their own marriage, help themselves. So let's get into this. Great to be with you and excited to talk to you about empaths and also empaths having their own business and being coaches. Now, I'm looking at the names here in the chat box, and I noticed some of you here. And I see some of your names and I'm going, okay, cool. I know you and you're a coach. And I know you and you're a coach. And that's awesome, because I hope you take good notes from our conversation here. And because I'm going to stretch your thinking, I'm going to open your mind so you can see more and understand more about who you are and how you're functioning. So let's talk really quick about being an empath. Now, is an empath some kind of strange, strange disorder with people? No, it's not a strange disorder. What it is, it's an ability to connect with people. But let's kind of check in. Are you one of these empaths? And if so, you're having people ask you for advice. When you're around lots of people for long periods of time, you kind of feel super drained. Next one here, you also find yourself connecting with people, even overly connecting to people, lots of different ways. Do you ever feel like you have lots of different emotions inside you or lots of different thoughts, and you're wondering, where are these thoughts coming from? You have a need for personal space. Ideas come to you to help other people solve their challenges. Also, can you sense the mood of others from a distance, like really quick, to pick up on how a person is, right? And do you get glimpses or insights of what is really going on with somebody else or what's really troubling them? And this is the short list, kind of check in to see if you are having some of these empath traits. Now, empaths don't look weird. They look like normal people. Normal people are empaths. Normal people, good people. Kids can be empaths. You could be talking to any person and you wouldn't even know it, but that person's an empath. And they're super connected to you, and they're really listening and dialing into you. So empaths are not strange looking. They don't have, weird stuff going on with them. Maybe they sometimes dress weird. I don't know, but they're normal people. Normal people. I would have to say most people I meet who are empaths don't even know it until I'm talking to them and I'm listening to them. And it's like, hold on, you got really high empath abilities. And I'll explain that here in just a moment. But empaths tend to be very in tune to other people. wherever they're at in their mood, their thinking. They sense the feelings of others. They can detect deception and lies really quick. The part, though, that I really, really dive into with someone who's an empath is their ability to identify what's wrong with a person. Because if empaths can really use that side of their gift to understand the person, understand what's really blocking them, that person who's an empath can really help that person move that block out of the way, or that obstacle out of the way, mental, emotional, social block, move it out of the way so that person could actually progress and move forward. Now, I'm going to pretend like you are an empath. And so I'm going to talk to you in as though we're having lunch and you've asked me, hey, Kirk, I'm an empath and I want to understand, how can I help other people? And so this whole conversation, I'm going to talk to you, though, as though you're an empath and that you really want to serve people and use your gift to help people. And so even though I've, kind of quickly went through this, you're here because the emails made sense to you. I make sense to you, and or you're curious. So empaths, really, it's time for empaths to really show up and recognize their ability to connect and understand people, because people are having a lot of challenges in the world and they need help. And empaths are really fast at getting to the root problem. And I'll explain as I go through this this evening. So with this gift, you can help others in ways that no one else can. I hope by the time I'm done tonight, you realize how important it is that you engage with people and listen and do something to help them. You engage with people, you listen, and you do something to help them. Even if you get no training on how to be a life coach, and even if you get no training on how to teach or how to problem solve with people, use your gift. And your gift is engage with people, listen closely. And when you have ideas of how you for the person, if you have ideas or advice to give someone, say it. Take the risk and offer suggestions to people. Offer ideas. Because your ability to be in tune to people is so needed in the world today. And again, I'll explain more as we go along here. But if that's all that happens from this webinar tonight, is that you are like, wow, I should listen to people, engage with people, and share some suggestions or some advice with somebody. And here's the thing, empaths, usually the advice they're about ready to give, they're usually not proficient at it themselves. And so usually that's where empaths crash, is because empaths have this tendency to think, well, I have to be good at this advice before I can give advice. No. let me talk to you for a second. There's a difference between a messenger and somebody who's experienced, right? So let's say the advice that you feel like giving somebody is that you're going to suggest to somebody they need to go forgive somebody. Like you're going to be like, hey, you know what? I think you need to go forgive that person. Maybe you're not really good at forgiveness. You don't have to be good at forgiveness to suggest to somebody else to go forgive the person who wronged them, because you could sense that there's something wrong in their life, and you can tell that they're holding regret and it's messing with their life, and you're going to suggest that to the person. But you might find yourself analyzing yourself saying, well, I can't give that advice. I'm not good at it. No. Empaths are messengers. That's what they are. They're messengers. They sense what's going on. They sense what needs to be done to adjust it. And so they share some advice or a message that could help them. And it's because the empath is reading and sensing how the person is and what the person's going through. And so you're sharing a message that you've picked up from them of what the trouble is, what the solution can be, and you're sharing it with them. And that right there, I'm not kidding. Of all the empaths I meet, that's usually the number one bit of advice I give them out of 10. The number one is you do not have to be good at the advice you're giving. Because if an empath waited until they were good at the advice they're about ready to give, we would have so many empaths shut down. They're shut up. They don't talk. They don't share. They're not helping people. Wait a minute. In fact, that is what's happening in the world. That's actually what is happening. We're having empaths who are really good at seeing what's going on with somebody. They have advice to share, but then they're not saying anything because inside they think they have to be good at the advice before they give the advice. And so they don't say anything. And they actually have this internal battle of going, well, I can't say that because I can't even do that. And that's where empaths then don't talk. And then now they're not sharing and they're not using their gift. And now they're imploding. And I'll explain that more as we go along here. But seriously, if that's all you get from this webinar tonight, which there's a lot more, but I'm just going to say this, open your mouth and talk to people. Engage with people, listen to people, and then offer to help them. Give an idea that comes to you. And I know sometimes you wonder, where do these ideas come from? It's just the way you're built. Like some people, they can lift the hood of a car and look inside, and it just comes to them how to fix the engine. That doesn't happen to me. My son, he's good at that. He can lift up a hood. In fact, he was helping people repair their cars, and he's not a mechanic, but he could figure it out. See, that's the same thing with you and I, is that we're empaths. And so we're all about helping the maintenance inside of a human being. That's what we do, is we get inside the human being and we lift up the hood to go, oh, what you got in here? Oh, looks like something's up. And so we're intuitive about the inside of a human being and also the outside of the human being, the whole dynamics of a human being. Some people are good with engines. Some people are good with their yard and plants. Some people are good with all these other things. This is where we're good. This is our place in life. Is you and I, we are about people. And when you're wondering where all the insight comes from, there's so many cool dynamics how it works. There's just so many cool things, but just know, yeah, maybe you're not a mechanic and maybe you're not a landscaper, but you're about people. And the glitch you're going to face, I'm going to say it for a fourth time, is you're going to have an idea, suggestion to give to somebody, and you're going to check in and go, whoa, do I even do that? Oh, I don't even do that. So I can't say anything. No, you got to remember, you're a messenger of the message that you gathered by connecting to the person. You're a messenger. You didn't have to write the letter. You didn't have to dig up the information. It was given to you through the dynamics of connection and communication with the person. It showed up. You sense the correction that needs to happen. That's what you are. You're an empath that can sense the correction that needs to happen. Write that down, because if you start living that way and you can sense the correction that needs to happen and you actually say it, every time you use your gift, it gets stronger. Every time you don't use your gift, it gets weaker. And an empath who has their gift getting weak, you might as well just call that depression. Call that depression. Inspiration without expression leads to depression. That's what happens. Empaths that don't use their gift and they shut their mouth, they slide into depression. And there's all kinds of depression. I'm just going to say depression. And so heads up with that. If you're feeling down, you're feeling like you're not living your purpose, you're not feeling like you're like really doing your thing, it's because you're not talking, you're not sharing. But you got to be careful though, because some people can't handle all of what you got to say. Let me just give you a principle here up front. It's called the law of the swimming pool. You can write that down. It's something I made up, but it's cool to remember. It's called the law of the swimming pool. When you go to the swimming pool, there's a shallow end on one end and there's a deep end on the other end. And what happens is if you go to give advice or a suggestion of correction to somebody because you can sense what's going on and you know what's happening and you have an idea for them, and you chuck them in the deep end, which means you share way too much information, that person's going to drown with all of your suggestion. And now you get labeled as weirdo. Like it's too much. And now they just don't even want to talk to you. They see you, they run the other way. They drive down a different road. They go through the back door of their house instead of the front door because you throw them in the deep end too often. And that's another big mistake empaths make, is they throw people in the deep end thinking that person thinks like you do. No, they don't. They don't. They're a lot shallower. And not shallow doesn't mean bad here. It just means quantity. They can only handle a little bit because rarely do people really look inside them. And then here you're looking inside them and you're seeing all this, and then you're going to like talk to them about it. Too much. So yes, share, but if you're one of those people who you're like, blah, yeah, you got to follow the law of the swimming pool, which means don't throw people in the deep end. Move them to the shallow end and just share a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more, just so they can handle it, right? Okay, so those are the two things. If you get anything from tonight, don't throw them in the deep end. Number one is be sure you understand that you as an empath, if you don't open your mouth and share what you're getting, you're going to get heavy on the inside and feel down because your gift is just getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And when that light goes out, you're going to feel terrible. That's usually where I find empaths, is they're trying to figure out what's wrong with them. And they're like, what's wrong with me? I'm like, you're not helping people, are you? No. And then we talk, and then I help them, and then they do better, and then they're happier. But I love sharing. I love talking about this because this is what I had to discover about myself to figure out what was up with me. And then when I figured out what was up with me, that I wasn't sharing and I wasn't doing my thing, and now I do my thing, and now some people just can't get me to shut up because I'm just like talking all the time. And it's like, wow, I could talk forever, draw diagrams forever, and just teach. But I found what's good for me is to teach, help, give guidance, give advice. And I might not know how to do all that advice, and I don't have to, because that advice was for that person. I understand that I am a messenger of the message I got from the person while we were connecting and communicating. I understood them, and I could see the place where things weren't working well. And I was able to share it with them. And then 30 minutes later, I can't remember what we talked about, because it was about them. Because just like somebody's a mechanic, they can look under the hood and fix the truck, fix the car, fix that. They're just fixing vehicles all the time, and they're good at it. And this is where you're good. Maybe you're not using it. Maybe you're here because you want to start to use it. Maybe you need some guidelines so you're not throwing people in the deep end all the time. But you're here tonight to learn about this, understand this a little bit better. But I just want you to know you are normal and different. And some people some people don't like mechanics, and some people don't like empaths. And some people don't like landscapers who don't know what they're doing. So it's not like all of a sudden everybody likes empaths, because they still don't understand really what they're doing. And that's part of my mission, is to be able to help clarify to the world what it is this gift is and how to use it, so that more empaths will stand up and go, hey, that's me too. And then I hope they get empowered, and then they start to help people. Because you and I both know there's a lot of problems in the world. And guess what's missing? People who understand people. That's what's missing. And that's you. That's you. I didn't point at you. I just pointed at you. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this. You're going to get a lot. So have a pad of paper or get your screenshot snappy system ready to go here. So your gift is there to help other people. But let's talk about this just for a little bit. Are all humans empaths? Well, every human has empathy. Unless you're a psychopath, narcissist, or a sociopath, then you're lacking that, like next to nil, right? But other than that, everybody has empathy. But here's what happens. Some people have a high level of empathy to where they can sense what's going on with somebody, not just mentally understand a person and care about a person, but they actually feel it. They actually feel it. Is it rare to be an empath? It is a rare gift. You are rare. Okay, get that. You are different. You are different. So when you try to be like everybody else, I'm sorry, you just don't. You don't think the same way. You don't listen the same way. You don't process things the same way as other people. If there's 10 people and there's one empath in there, it's you. So 1 out of 10, you're different. It's more like more like 1 out of what? 1 out of 30? This is what it feels like, 1 out of 30. And so you got 29 other people looking at you like, what's up with you? And you're like, well, what's up with you? So we own our place in life that we're one of these types of people. It's a rare gift, right? So what makes us creepy, I'm going to use the word creepy. What makes us creepy, well, hold on. Let me just say this. This is the funniest part. This is the funniest part. Okay, so people think, and I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I'm just going to say it. We'll cover it again. Is people think that whatever they think and whatever they feel stays under their skin. That's what they think. And so when you can sense somebody, they feel like you're like getting inside them. And it's like, no, your thoughts and feelings radiate out from you. Just like a heater radiates heat. We as people, we radiate our emotions and we radiate our thoughts all day long. It's just that some people are, 29 out of 30 are not tuning into that. But we are. That's how we are. We tune into that. The radiating thoughts and the radiating feelings, we tune into that. I have some diagrams. I'll show you that in just a moment. But that's the part that is just so cool, is that you are a rare breed, right? So yeah. So don't hide it. Stand out with it. Now, I think one of the reasons why you're hiding is because you don't know how to use this. So you're kind of an awkward, clumsy empath, and you don't know what to say because people are going to be like, what? And when you have 29 out of 30 people questioning why you're this way, and they're all thinking you should be like them, no, you stand out. You stand out. Okay, so here's the thing. Empaths are natural and can even be experts in human psychology, and you've never taken a psychology class in your entire life. Here's the kicker to that. So I got invited to 2 different psychology classes, a high school and a college level psychology class. Guess why? To teach. I've never been to college. I've never taken a psychology class in my entire life. But I got invited both places to teach. What? No. I'm like all talking about it. And they're like, wow, where did you get this? And it's like, it just kind of is in the air, my friends. It's in the air. But see, when you're 1 out of 30 and you stand out, you can either feel like the weirdo or you can feel like the hero. Like you can really stand out and people are like, wow. Instead of what? You want to be the wow, not the what. So you don't want to shrink with this gift. You want to stand out with it. That means you want to learn how to do this, right? And learn how to use this and also learn how to coach people and teach people so you really stand out as an expert. And so it's just fantastic. It's just fantastic what we're able to do when we decide to activate this side of us and not hide it, not hide. Are all empaths born or made? Some babies enter the world with more sensitivity than others, an inborn temperament. You can see it when they come out of the womb. They're much more responsive to light, smells, touch, movement, temperature, and sound. These infants seem to be empaths from the start. And the key word in all of this is, where's the word? Oh, sensitive. Sensitivity. There it is up here at the top. Sensitivity. Sensitivity. And you're going to see in a minute why sensitivity really plays a key factor, because it has to do with senses. Oh, this is so good. Wait till I pull this together for you. You're going to love it. Just remember senses. Just remember senses. When I get to the screenshot, you're going to see what I mean about senses. It's really good. Okay, so empaths are deeply sensitive individuals who are highly attuned to the emotions and energy of others. Because we are sensitive, we use our senses, they can easily take on the emotions of others as their own. So if you've ever felt like your personality almost continually attracts those who need guidance and help in your life, you may be an empath. So empaths have a tendency to attract people who are looking for advice. Guess why? Because they sense that you can sense what's wrong. They can sense if your gift is active. If your gift is active, like you're actively tuning into people and listening and giving and sharing and working with people, if that's active, people can sense there's something different about you. They get talking to you and then they're like, wow. They're not what? Like, what? They're like, wow. Like I was down in, where was I? Oh, somewhere far away. I was not too far away, but like a state away. I was at this event and I was standing in line and there was like thousands of people in line for this event. And I'm standing in line and I should say hundreds, which equal up to 1,000 or 2 people in this event. But I'm standing in line and I'm talking to this lady. We're just chit-chatting because we're waiting in line. And I'm just chit-chatting and I'm listening, right? I'm engaging. Talking to another human being. But when I talk to another human being, I listen with all of my senses. And naturally, as I'm listening, I pick up on things that are going on. And so as she's talking and she's telling me about her business, an idea came to me, which will happen to empaths. An idea comes to you of like, here's something that you could do to adjust or correct or fine tune or empower what you're doing. So I said, hey, I have an idea for you. Are you open to it? And so I share the idea and she just whips her head around. She's like, what? Where'd you get that? And I go, from what you're saying. And she's like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? And then she looks at me and she goes, are you an empath? And I was like, did you just say that? Because I like to like fly under the radar. You don't just walk around just telling people you're an empath because then they think you're some kind of weirdo. But I just like, yeah, I was listening to you, but I picked up on something and I helped her. And then the doors opened and we went into the event and I never saw her again. But I could help somebody in the moment while I'm talking to them. It doesn't have to be like this long 5-hour conversation before you pick up on people and what's going on and how you can help them. It can happen quickly. That's the coolest part. It's just like it can happen so quick. So awesome. So I love that kind of stuff. I just think it's so cool. And I got to tell you, it makes me feel really good knowing that when I go to bed at night, I'm helping. I'm using my gift to help others. I think it's cool. I just love it. But you got to watch out because I do meet some people who have hit the toxic empathy line. And this is really, really got to pay attention to this. Toxic empathy is when a person over identifies with someone else's feelings and directly takes them on as their own. This is another thing I see as I meet more and more and more empaths is I find them in toxic empathy mode. And it's like, what? You are too far. You got to back away. Like that is not your feeling. That is their feeling. And what happens is the empath can't tell the difference between their feelings and somebody else's feelings. So they think everything they feel is theirs. That's not good. Did you write that down? Toxic empathy is when you think everything you feel is yours. You need to know that when you're around people, their feelings come into your space, into your personal space, and then they actually come into your body. And so it's important to learn how to identify what's yours, what's theirs. Because all of a sudden, if you're like super sad and you're like, why am I sad? What's wrong with me? It's probably not yours. It could be your neighbors or the people you saw earlier that day or even last week. And the feelings are still in your space, but you can't tell the difference between yours and theirs. Super important for an empath to know the difference and to be able to take inventory and go, that's not mine, that is mine. And to sort that out. Because how are you going to get rid of that if you don't know it's not yours? You're just going to keep everybody's feelings. And then guess what? You're going to be scrambled. You're just going to be a mess inside. And I meet some empaths that are at that level and they're just trying to help people, but they're just soaking up a lot of people's emotions. And it's like, whoa, 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 hold on, slow down. Let's separate this out. And it's like walking into a craft room that's never been cleaned. And you got so many crafts out. And it's just, they're all mixed together and on the floor and on the shelves. And it's like, we've got to put everything back in boxes. So I really enjoy training empaths how to do that, how to separate that. So, and as soon as they start to separate those emotions, man, do they feel good. They just light back up like, wait, my whole life is better now because you just helped me clean my room, my craft room inside of me and sort out all these emotions. So my main reason of showing you this is so you understand that toxic empathy is a real thing and it's something to be conscious of. And if you're not aware of how to distinguish between yours and other people's emotions, you probably are stepping into this toxic empathy more than you realize. If you're an empath and you're married, you tend to take on your spouse's feelings. And then you could be mad at your spouse for no reason, but you're actually kind of hurting because you're taking on their emotions and you don't even know it. I'm not going to totally dive into all that right now, but I just want to just say, I bet some of your attitude or bad moods or bad days are not about your own emotions. It's just you got other people's stuff in your space or inside your body, and you don't know how to get rid of it. Anyway, just heads up, it's important to identify, but you can't go too far. And then it's gonna overwhelm you and it's gonna hurt you. And that can also lead to kinds and levels of depression because you just feel like a mess. Okay, good to bring up, good to know that you can go too far. And yeah, so be conscious of that and check in with yourself and go, man, is that me? Maybe I need some training on this, right? Okay, let's keep going. So let's just clarify. You are different. You are a rare find and you stand out. Okay, so we just clearly identified you are different than other people. And this is a different kind of conversation to have. That other people, the 29 out of 30 would be like, wow, what are you guys talking about? But you and I, we get it, right? Okay, so we're still talking about empath, right? And how this works. So, okay, here we go. How does empath gift work? Okay, watch this. Take notes. I'm going to go. There's a lot to share here, but I'm going to go through it. But it's super important to understand the mechanics. Sounds weird to say this. The mechanics or the dynamics of empath, the way it works, the system of it. Okay, so now this is not all inclusive. This is just a great sample and explanation of how this works, so you can get an idea how this works. Okay, so let's clarify. Under your skin, you have thoughts, right, that happen in your head, and you have feelings. We're just going to use a heart to identify feelings. So under your skin, there are thoughts and there are feelings under your skin, right? Good. Got that. Okay. Those thoughts that are in your head don't stay inside your skull. They produce a vibration and they vibrate out of your head. And they also, I'll just do this. They also fill up the space around you. Like this circle right here is your personal space, and also your feelings that are inside. They also come out of your skin and fill up the space around you. So your personal space is full of your thoughts and your feelings. Your thoughts and feelings come out of your body and they fill in the space around you, which it's not a perfect circle. I mean, so the closer a person is to you, the more they could pick up on. And then the further away, the less you can pick up on. So close to you, there's a lot. 10 feet away, there's less. 20 feet away, there's even less. But it radiates from you, just like a heater. The further you are away from a heater, the less you can feel the heat. Same thing happens here. Unless you're a really well-trained empath, you can pick up on people on the other side of the world. Okay, but just so the part that we're getting here, though, is outside of your skin. Outside of your skin are your thoughts and your feelings, and that fills up a space, which we can give it a name or identify this space, and we're going to call it personal space. So thoughts and feelings mixed together, do you know what it produces? Do you know what thoughts and feelings produce? Mood. So now that is now your mood. So when somebody says, oh, they're in a bad mood, it's because their thoughts and feelings that are mixed together are of the negative nature or the lower vibration level. And so that produces a lower level mood. And that mood comes from thoughts and feelings that are in your space that came from inside your body. And now they're on the outside, and now people can feel them. And that's why when people are around you, they can feel your mood. So if you're sitting in a room, your mood will be produced from the inside of your body, fill up your space, and then it comes out and fills up the room. So when somebody walks into the room, they can feel the mood if they are tuning into it. Some people are completely oblivious to the mood of others. They just don't even tune into that at all. Their sensors are not even activated, and that's not even happening. Where empaths, we are seeing moods everywhere. True? True. So we see the mood, we feel the mood, we see it, we see the body language. Oh, that's the other thing is empaths can learn body language really fast and interpret it really well because it has to do with psychology. But anyway, we are very in tune to moods. Now we have to be careful because that mood could creep over and get into our personal space. And now their mood is going to change our mood. So that can happen. So thoughts and feelings can travel from one person's space to the other person's space, and or the mood can travel. So as an empath, we're tuning into that mood, which is their thoughts and feelings in their personal space, which is the thoughts and feelings from the inside of them. And not just the current thoughts and feelings. Now watch this. This is not just current thoughts. This is last month's thoughts, last year's thoughts. This is 10 years ago thoughts. See, history doesn't dissolve. History doesn't dissolve. History is inside your space because it's inside your head. So there is history inside a person's personal space that is being radiated out from their body. History is not just in your head, down in the filing cabinet in your subconscious. No. History is always there. It's always there. In the subconscious, there's no past and future. In the subconscious, it's always present. Everything from past in the subconscious is as though it's present today. There is no future and there is no past in the subconscious. Past and future only happen in the consciousness. And so all the history is always present. So as an empath, if this person was struggling you could pick up on something that happened 2 weeks ago where they forgot about it. But you could pick up on it and say, hey, something happened 2 weeks ago. What happened? And they'll be like, what are you talking about? It's like, no, slow down. What happened 2 weeks ago? And they're like, oh, my husband and I got in a fight. Oh, that's affecting you today. And they'll say, no, it's not. And you'll say, yes, it is. Because you're tuning in to their history, seeing where the glitch happened, seeing where their disconnect happened. That disconnect is still affecting them today, even though they forgot about the fight. This is why empaths that are well-trained in coaching do so good at helping people fix their lives and patch up their lives, because we can sense history a month ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Oh, so you can read people's mind? No, no, some empaths can. That's not my specialty. My specialty is well, I'm not going to get into that. But empaths, we can pick up on this because it's in their space. Where the common person thinks yesterday is gone and forgotten, and last week is gone and forgotten. So they don't know. Let me just say this, and you want to write this down. Most people think that if they have a problem today, that problem started today. But we as empaths know that problems come from our past, and they're stuck in our space, unfinished, unreconciled. And because that is unfinished and unreconciled, it becomes a glitch, just kind of like an alternator in your vehicle that's not working very well. After a while, your battery is going to die and you're going to run out of juice for your vehicle. Or the fuel pump is kind of working and your car kind of sputters. And so what we do as empaths is we can tune into this if you understand how to use your empath gift, and you also are actively helping people, which can be a life coach. But this is it's super amazing to be able to do this and be able to have this kind of gift. That's why when you stand out 1 out of 30 people, when you stand out as an active, let me change the numbers. If you're an active empath, you're like 1 out of what? Hundreds of people. 1 out of hundreds that you actually are tuning into people, listening, sensing where the issue is, touching on it, asking them, suggesting what to do to be able to patch that up so that their machinery of life will function better. That's what empaths are really good at. And that's why empaths make such great coaches, is because they can sense where the glitch is, even if it was last week, last month, last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, because we can tune in and sense what's going on. Because empaths know that what's inside of your personal space is not just present day mood. It's everything. I mean, imagine this. You literally, with your personal space and with your body language, your tone of voice, your mood, you are a walking book. And if somebody will give enough attention to you to read you, they can see what chapters in your past have problems that still need some fixing. A problem that is not fixed in the past becomes a current day problem every day you wake up. It never goes away. Problems don't dissolve. They stay right there every day. They don't go away. Even if you try to forget it, it doesn't go away. It's like if your alternator didn't work in your vehicle and you try to forget about your alternator, it doesn't fix it. So guess what people are doing today to try to fix their past? They just try to forget about it. It doesn't go anywhere. It's like, this is the most messed up thinking ever, but 29 out of 30 people don't think this way. It's you and I that think this way. It's you and I that understand this, that really want to do well in helping people where the problem really is. And 99% of the chance where the problem is in the past. That's where the problem is. And who's going to find it? Not a normal person. Who's going to look in the past? Not a normal person. No, it takes one of us strange kind of people who are gifted to read a person and look in their past and find it. It's one of us who understand that life is all of our past in our present. That's what's beautiful about this, is it can be fixed, it can be adjusted, it can be repaired. But 29 out of 30 people would never, ever, ever look into last week for the issue. Guess what people do to try to fix their issues? Guess what they try to do? They try to fix the people around them. Like, hey, I have an issue. You're it. Oh, you're not it. You're it. Wait, no, it's my spouse. No, it's my kids. No, it's them. It's them. And they're trying to fix their problems with current moment people. That's why their problems never fix. That's why they never adjust, is because they're trying to fix it in the present moment. That's where us as empaths come in, because we'll sense, we'll find it, we'll look, we'll figure out where it's at, and then we give suggestions of how to adjust that. And if you don't know how to give suggestions of how to adjust things in the past, I can train you on that. It's what I do. I train empaths to become fantastic life coaches to understand how to do this. Because people need help. People have all kinds of challenges these days, and they have no clue how to fix them. No idea. Oh, you know what they think? Make more money. That'll fix everything. No, that's not. It doesn't fix. All it does is help you pay your bills and cover up your issues, but they never get fixed until you actually specifically address them. And I know a lot of this you already know, or maybe it's new to you, but super valuable to talk about. Okay, so what's under your skin comes out of your skin. It fills up your personal space, and not just the present moment, but all of history is also there for us to look to see how we can help people. People have personal spaces. Everybody's got a personal space. So you see me add this word right here, information. So this mood, thoughts, and feelings. Every thought is a paragraph. Every feeling could be explained. So that's a paragraph. Every mood has a reason. So that's a paragraph. So thoughts and feelings and mood is paragraphs, and paragraphs have information. So I'm going to take thoughts, feelings, and mood and pull them all together, and I'm going to call all of that information. So every human being is walking around with information in their body and in their personal space. So every human being has information in their space. Every human being. You can't turn it off. You can't hide this information. It's just always there. It doesn't stay under your skin. It's just, and this is where it gets creepy, because then people are like, oh, I don't like empaths, because the person's trying to hide something and they don't want people to see it. And so whenever they're around an empath, it's like, oh, get away from me. But let's say this person needs help. Don't you think they'd want to work with somebody who could interpret that information, read that information, see that information, and then see where the glitch and the problem is and offer a suggestion of how to fix that? It would make their life better. So empaths, in short, sense this information. That's what they do. They tune into this information. I'm an empath. I'm a normal person. If I was your neighbor, you'd be like, Kirk's normal, until we get chatting. And then you're like, wait a minute, how'd you figure that out? Because I'm tuning into your information. Now, this is what I think. I think if you want like an incredible experience to happen in your life, I think you should hire me as your own personal coach. Don't you think? What would that be like? What would it be like if I was your personal coach and I worked with you and you set a goal, and then I worked with you to remove all the things that are glitching you, and you could actually have higher level performance? What? That would be mind-blowing. I know, but you're thinking, I don't want Kirk to read my book. What will he find? just so you know, as a healthy empath that I am, when I look at your information, I know we are all screw-ups. We've all done something wrong. We've all sinned. We've all done something wrong. We've all stolen something. We've all lied. We've all done all kinds of stuff growing up as a kid and a teenager and as an adult. So I'm not looking for what's wrong with you that way. What I'm looking for is, where is your subconscious glitched? And how do we iron that out so that you can actually do better? So you can actually be open to receive all the greatness of life. So your business could do better. Your marriage could do better. I mean, so many things could be doing better. But if you have parts in your engine that are broke or that are breaking down, you can't go as fast as you could. And we know that from the example of a vehicle. If your alternator, your fuel pump, if you're out of alignment, you can't go as fast as you could. So that's why I'm so valuable to people, is because I can tune into this information, find what's up, then I know what to do to help adjust, fix, repair, mend, and so that you can be better at a higher level of performance. That's why I think you should hire me as your personal coach. It's okay. Okay. So everybody has information, thoughts, feelings, mood, right? Sometimes when you're close to people, you can just pick up on it. It just happens. Like a thought crosses your mind as an empath. And you're like, whoa, where'd that come from? And if you're around a group of people, you could have all kinds of information from other people coming into your space. And if you're around 2 people, 5 people, 10 people, it's why if you're around a lot of people, a lot, other people's information can come in and just consume you. That's why you got to practice keeping it separate and letting it in or not letting it in. Okay, so let's talk about this. I kind of explained all this. So information is thoughts, feelings, and experiences. That information is inside of us, but it also fills up our personal space. But then we radiate it out like we're transmitting the signal. That's what we do. We transmit. So the truth is, information doesn't just sit in your head. It travels from inside of your skin to the outside into your personal space. You can't stop this from happening. You can learn how to tune into it. You can learn how to tune into it. Empaths tune into this information naturally, just like a radio. If you want to receive the signal, you have to tune into the right station, right? Just like radios. If you want to talk to each other, you have to be on the same frequency. Same frequency. Cell phones. If you want to text somebody, you put in a particular number, and then you can text them, and that particular person receives the message. So we all know about tuning into each other. So 2 cell phones who people are talking on the phone together have tuned into each other with their cell phones. I think cell phones are causing people to be dependent on tuning into each other. And I'm just going to say that, and I'm going to just put that on the table. I think cell phones are ripping off people's gifts of tuning into each other because they rely on texting and phone calls to tune in when there's other ways we can do it. Okay, so this person right here on this side is you. This is somebody else. This person over here is transmitting a signal. Transmitting, which means they are sending it this way. If you were to turn on your receiver, which is your gift, empath, you then could receive the messages that they are transmitting. The more you practice your empath gift, the more your receiver will be on. The less you use your empath gift, the less your receiver is on. But everybody's transmitting. Your kids are transmitting, your spouse is transmitting, your employees, your neighbors, the people in the grocery store, everybody is transmitting all the time. You could be the one that's got the broken receiver, or it's tuned way down, or it's out of tune, or you've turned it off for some reason. And there's reasons that can turn this off, but then you are not connecting well with others. You don't connect well with your kids. You don't connect well with your spouse. You don't connect well with your team. You don't connect well with your neighbors. You don't connect well with God. because your receiver is messed up. It's your receiver that can be glitched. And if it's glitched, if it's got problems, it's broken, you can't pick up on people. You can't pick up on what God has for you. You can't pick up what your spouse is trying to say to you, what your kids are trying to say. And you can't figure out what's wrong with your kids. You can't figure out what's wrong with the people around you. And so it just makes you upset and bothered and irritated and overwhelmed. And oh my goodness, you're frustrated. But it's your receiver that's messed up. Are you hearing me? Being an empath means your receiver is on to pick up on the transmitting signals from everybody. It's happening all the time. Always going. Cool. And I guess you could call it creepy, but I'm going to leave creepy out because this is cool. Because that means if you were on with receiving, and when I say receiving means you've tuned in to the person, because every person is on a different frequency. Just like everybody has a different phone number. Hear me on this. Just like everybody has a different phone number, every person has a different frequency dial in. And so if you're walking around with only one frequency, no wonder you can't clue into people, because you think everybody should tune into you. What you want to do is you want to open up that empath mind of yours and have other frequencies you can dial into, because everybody, just like having a different phone number, has a different frequency. And so to tune into that person, you got to find their frequency. That means you have to be in search mode. That means you have to be willing to adjust. So if you're a perfectionist, your empath gift messed up, because you're wanting to be perfect and everybody else has to match what you're doing. You're going to mess it up. If you're a controlling person, your ability to tune into other people, not going to happen. Not going to happen. They have a different phone number. So that means every person has a different frequency. That means we have to be the ones to adjust, to get in on their number or their frequency so that we can hear them. God has a particular frequency. If you want to hear him, you have to be on his frequency. He has a particular phone number. It's kind of weird to say it that way, but it's just like, it's an identification. It's a frequency line. So, you hear people say you need to tune into God. Well, you need to tune into people. Every child you have has a different frequency. And the one child that drives you the nuts the most is the one that you're off on the frequency the most. That's why they drive you nuts, because you don't understand them, because they bother you. It's because you're out of frequency with them and you can't tune into them, because you think they're supposed to tune into you because you're the mom, because you're the dad, because you're the grandma, because you're the grandpa. No, you're an empath. You adjust to tune into them. Hope you got that. You get that? Click the raise the hand button if you got the message. Did you get the message? Yeah? Okay, good. Okay, so I was talking about sensibility. Sensibility means empaths are tuned into the information that is transmitted from others. Tuned in means you have to move the dial. Means you have to be able to adjust to the person. Means you got to be thinking, okay, what's their frequency? How do I tune into them? How do I do this? And that right there is the coolest thing to learn, of like, how to tune into people and to connect with them. Even if they're standing on the other side of the room, how do you tune into them? How do you do that? Because it turns on your senses. Your senses. Now, let's say you are in tune. Well, then here comes the information. Boom, boom. The information's coming right over. And then without even talking to the person, you are already gaining an understanding of that person. So if you do talk to them, boom, you can connect huge levels of rapport. They feel like you guys are long lost friends because it's such a deep connection because you have already tuned into them. When you don't tune in, their information stays over here and you feel a distance. I mean, this explains marriages, why some people in marriages, they're like, oh, wow, we are not connected because neither one of them are tuning into each other, or one's turned off their receiver and they're just not into tuning in. It's like, oh, I got some challenges here. But if you're like this, that's going to be a rough discussion because it's not going to connect. It's not going to make sense. It's like you're talking two different languages. It's like you're not even on the same planet. It's like, what is happening here? Okay, so let's go back to empaths. Empaths have a high level of sensibility or sensitivity. Instead of using the word sensitivity, I'm going to use the word sensibility. And sensibility means that an empath can turn on more than just one sense. Like common people, when they talk to each other, what happens is they listen to what people say. That is a very first level way of communicating, is to listen to what people say. Another way would be to listen to the tone and then to watch body language. Like tone and body language would be a great addition. That's why I've taught body language shows for years. And if somebody's on this webinar right now and you want me to teach your team or your department about body language, we could do a Zoom webinar and I could teach your team about body language. It'd be so fun to teach it. It's so fun. But to learn about tone and body language is a huge upgrade. And to most people, that's actually difficult. In fact, even just listening to people's words is difficult. It's like the human-to-human connection and communication is so messy that people can barely talk. They just text. They just call each other, or they text, or they email. And so even this is like, even down to the most simple version is messy and just broken in so many in so many different areas. Okay, so this is what common people struggle with right here. Let me show you what an empath can do. Bam! Shazam! Look at that. Words, thoughts, tone, energy, body language, behavior, and results. All that information coming in feeds the empath senses. Now, this is an empath that has the receivers on. So from this one person, there are 7 different types of information coming in. And when you're, as an empath, if you have all receivers on, you are getting a ton of information about this person before you're even really deep into a conversation. It's like, wow, super connected to people. No wonder empaths make great problem solvers because they're getting so much information. No wonder people who are trying to help people can't really help each other deeply, is because they're working with one bit of information. There's so much missing. How are you supposed to solve a problem with 6 other ways of communication missing? You don't solve a problem. You just go on to the next day. You don't even solve it. And so day after day, you just have problems that are never solved. That's not going to do anything. This is going to do something. And I'm going to say it again. This is what I love to do. I love to train people how to be a life coach, to be able to listen at this level so that they can use their empath gift and also life coaching skills to understand people and coach this person in a much more precise way on how to adjust what it is that they're wrestling with. This is fantastic. And if you're an empath and you're like, what? I didn't know I could use all those. Yes. Okay. Now, this is only half the pie, though. This is half the pie. The other half of the pie is how you interpret it. Yeah, you just got all this information from somebody, but how are you on interpretation? Just because you receive information doesn't mean you know how to put it together. How do you put all this information together and make a clear, distinct insight about the person? And then what are you doing with it? What do you do with all this? See, that's where coaching could come in really big for you. But my job here is to show you what an empath can do, and also, urge you to get training on how to do this. And I would love to spend more time with you. But this is really important, though, for me to show you this so your mind can open up and go, what? I didn't know all this about this. Isn't it cool, though? It's so good. But just remember this. If somebody says, oh, you're just sensitive, you say back to them, no, I have a high level of sensibility. Because sometimes people use the word sensitive as a downer. That's like, why are you putting down that I'm sensitive? Well, you're just so sensitive. It's like, no, it's called sensibility. And I have a high sensibility. And maybe you'll have to tell them, and I'm learning how to use it. See, that's the thing. You have this gift. Now it's like, learn how to use it, right? I'm a great resource for you to learn how to use this. I've been teaching this for years and years and years, and I could do some good for you. But just right here, when somebody calls you sensitive, you go, wait, correction, sensibility. And I'm learning how to use it. And right now it's a little out of control. And that way they'll be like, oh, that's a new word, sensibility. Because it really is. It's the ability to sense 7 different ways, to listen and interpret it and solve the challenge, solve the problem, what to do, what to adjust to increase performance, increase ability. It's cool, super cool. So empaths are just like rock stars, like crazy. I mean, just like they're like these silent, amazing, powerful, just full of love people who can make such a difference in the world, such a difference in the world. And they look like this. And you're one of them. You're one of them. And if you're thinking, oh my goodness, I can never figure this out. Remember what I told you in the beginning. Do you remember? Did you write it down? Did you write it down? Remember what I told you? I gave you 2 things in the beginning. Did you write it down? I hope you wrote it down. Okay. Empath, you can help others solve problems they don't know how to solve. That's clear, right? Like people are like, oh, I don't know how to do this, because remember, people usually only think about today. They don't think about last week. They don't think about last month. Whenever I'm coaching, I'm always thinking today, last week, last month, last year, last 5 years, last 10 years, last 20 years. That's my brain just goes click, 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 click. Where's the issue? Where's the challenge? Always searching the history that's inside the personal space, right? Okay, so as an empath, what do we do? What are we actually doing? In a different way, I'm just going to show you how this works. The dynamics of a person's life, there's many parts of a person's life that they're wanting to balance. Who they are, their nutrition, their relationships, their goals, their relationship with money, their relationship with time, the direction in their life, and then love and forgiveness. These are common categories across the globe, across the world. If you were talking to somebody in Australia, guess what? They're trying to figure out who they are. They're trying to do better with their nutrition, try to do better with relationships. They want to reach their goals. They want to have a better relationship with money, with time, with their direction, and with love and forgiveness. And that's somebody in Australia. What if they are in Japan? Well, guess what? It's the same. Well, what if they're on an island next to Tahiti? Guess what? It's the same. Maybe it's not money, but it's their currency. Maybe they don't have clocks, but the sun comes up and there's a certain amount of time and then the sun goes down. It's the same. So check this out. The world is full of people. It's full of people. And that means with internet, with what I'm doing right now, doing a webinar, you could be coaching someone from anywhere in the world because they have the same things they're working on. I was coaching a gentleman clear on the other side of the planet, and I asked him about these categories. I said, hey, would you like me to help you in these categories? And he's like, yeah. He could barely speak English, but we're talking, communicating, and it's the same categories. Even though they talk a different language, life is still the same when it comes to the dynamics. So what that means is once you learn how to use your empath gift and learn some life coach skills, some coaching skills, you can help people anywhere. Anywhere. Wow, right? Whoa, wow, just amazing. Okay, so what happens though is in people's lives, some of these start to have glitches. Maybe they have a glitch where they're losing their identity, or maybe they're having a glitch where they don't know how to forgive and they don't feel like they can be loved, or maybe they've lost their direction in life, or they're just terrible at time management, or they have no money, or they've got a lot of money and they don't know what to do with it, or they have goals that they just can't get, or maybe they've given up on goals. And then relationships. Wow, how many are there are of those? Social and people and all kinds of stuff. So they could have any number of these have a glitch. There could be a glitch. And if you had life coach skills, you could help them because your empath gift is going to help you find the source of the problem. Okay, hear that. Take a note. Your empath gift helps you find the source of the problem, whichever one you're working on. Because your empath gift is going to dive in to who they are, how they are, what's going on with them, and your empath gift is going to find it. That's what's cool about having an empath gift and being a teacher, a coach, or a counselor, or somebody who can, you're working with people to help them solve problems. So let's say they've lost their direction. Sure, you could just teach them today and then encourage them to move forward. But wait a second. If they've lost their direction, something happened yesterday, or something happened last week. Something happened that threw them off their direction. You see, most of the time, people or friends, family, and, inexperienced coaches, they just try to help people from today forward. But what if there was something that happened last week that troubled this person and knocked them off their course? Does that mean that because it happened last week, it's going to evaporate? No, you already know that answer. The history does not evaporate. It can only be sorted, forgiven, organized, and reconciled. It's never evaporated. It's always there until it's taken care of. And so if something happened last week, it's still there. So if you jump in and go, hey, this is how you move forward, they're going to try to move forward, but this is still glitched. That's why I'm encouraging you as an empath to pick up being a life coach, because you could coach this person, because you could find what it is. And right now, if you're thinking, Kirk, I've never done that before. I know you still need to activate your gift and then you'll be able to do this, but you can learn no matter what stage you're at. I'm just giving you the insight of what you can do and how to apply your gift. You could help this person no matter where they're living in the world. Because you have an empath gift, you'd be able to tune in and find out where that is and what's going on with them. Then you can help them because you've got coaching skills and empath skills. What a beautiful, beautiful relationship between those two. Okay, so what happens is now that you know what that is, you can help them, because really every person has a report card. And if you take every area of their life, some people are doing well in some of these categories and some people are not doing well in some of these categories. Every person has a life report card. They don't like to talk about their report card with people. In fact, usually they hide their report card from people until they start flunking a particular category. And then they might go and ask for help, but usually they don't. And then other categories start to crash too. Once a lot of these categories crash, then they actually start to look for help. But it's not till there's a lot of damage. But just so you know, every person has a life report card and everybody has the same category. So it makes coaching very nice and easy, because what's happening is you can count on the fact they have the same dynamics, and you can count on the fact they have a history. That makes it a lot easier when it's like, everybody's got a history, everybody's got a report card. Where are you failing? oh, you're failing here? Let's go there. I'm going to help you. And because you're an empath and because you love to teach, you could get in there and start to help them and find a solution, a way to fix or adjust what's going on in their life so that that can go from an F to a D to a C minus to a B, and they can get back up to being productive in that area of their life. And this is what I love to do. I love to get in, get involved with people's lives and also help them with their life report card so that they can pass this course of life. Because it really is. We all have these grades, right? We all know that. So here's the cool part. As an empath, well, people who are non-empaths, they tend to try to fix results by changing behavior, by doing something different. Most of the time when people are trying to fix results, they think, I just have to work longer or I have to work harder. And then they try to produce larger results by spending more of their time. It's a surface fix, but it doesn't work because the real challenge comes from down here. The real challenges come from the root system. And that's what every person has. Every person has a root system. It's the unseen world of who they are. It's what's going on inside them. And so that's what I like to do is I like to dive in and go, I'm going to use my empath gift to find where in their root system they have a glitch that's affecting their results to be small. Because if you can fix it in the roots, you'll fix it in the fruit. The roots have to change before the fruit will change. And if you want a bigger result, you got to go below the surface. That you should write down. If you want a bigger result, you got to go below the surface and figure out what's in there that's causing the glitch. Believe me, I know this. My own personal life has been a journey along this way. To be able to help my results, the number of people I've been able to help is because of me working on my root system and finding where the glitches are and then being able to repair, reconcile, heal, mend, or organize those thoughts so that I could be better at helping more and more people. So I'll say it again. If you ever want your results to improve, you've got to go look in the roots because that's where it's at. It's huge. Super cool, huh? Okay. So to solve problems, we need people who can see and find the root problems. That's you, the empaths. Okay. Why you? Well, the reason why we're talking tonight is because the thoughts crossed your mind that maybe you could help people. Maybe you could use your empath gift. Maybe that could be something you could do. Also, you feel like your life has, there's more purpose to it and that the purpose is more than what you're currently doing. Like there's something else you're supposed to do with your life. Now, I want to talk about how using your empath gift can also help you be able to serve people and also be able to, at a very affordable way, provide some coaching or assistance to people, and they can learn from you and you can help them. Because let's look at this. All the stresses that are going on in the world with supply chain, with the pandemic, with countries, with riots, with all the stuff that's happening in other countries, with floods, with schools, they're stressing people out and people are getting stressed out in their head and their heads are getting full of all kinds of thoughts, all kinds of worries, all kinds of concerns to where they just don't do well. And they're literally not able to think or make decisions. And so we're in a world right now where people are kind of like zoning out because of all the scramble of things that are going on. And then all of that is turning into people being more and more tired. They don't care. Why even try? Why even set a goal? Why even start a business? Why follow through with my dreams? What's the use? And then it comes down to, wow, what's wrong with me? So people are in this place of trying to figure themselves out. They're trying to figure themselves out. But as they're doing this, they're having challenges. And yeah, it wasn't too long ago that people, would really strive for goals and have challenges and they keep going. But now what's happening is people are starting to drop down in their experience of their belief in themselves. Like they're not following through with their promptings. They're not following through with their goals. They're not following through with what they hoped for. So people are hitting a new low and it's getting worse. And people are actually trying to search the internet, trying to find answers. But because they can't find the answers on the internet, they stay stuck. They want to be able to get out of it and climb out of it, right? They want to, but they're right here. Where if one more big thing happens, it could send them to hit rock bottom. But they're down here, but they cover it up trying to be nice, and they cover it up trying to smile and act like everything's okay. But they're super, super, super stressed. So people used to search the internet and, watch how-to videos, but guess what they want now? They want someone to talk to. They need somebody that they can talk to that can help them figure out what's wrong, because they're sensing it, that something's wrong, but they don't know what it is. They need somebody to talk to. And so in the last year to 2 years, there's been more and more people than ever who've been reaching out to talk to people about the challenges that they have and what's the struggles that they have. But guess who they're looking for? They're looking for people who can see below the surface. They want people who are not just shallow or surface answers. People are starting to realize that their challenge is deeper than what advice they've been getting from friends and family and even coworkers, because that advice isn't working. It's the surface advice. And they're realizing, wait a minute, that's not working. I tried that. It's not working. So people are just now starting to turn. When I say just now, over the last year to 2 years, they're starting to turn to look for very specific people who could help them look a little deeper. And guess who those people are? They're empaths. Empaths that know what they're doing. They're looking for us. They're looking for you. And they're looking for this kind of conversation. Like, can I tell you what's happening? Can you help me figure this out? Because all of the surface stuff isn't doing it for them. Sure, they buy a book and they read the book, but they have nobody to talk to. Sure, they go watch a YouTube video, but they have nobody to talk to. They want somebody to talk to. So there's this huge shift starting to happen where people want to talk to other people because they've tried the books, they've tried the online videos, they've tried the audios, but they've learned, but they have questions. And because they have questions, they're looking for people who have some depth to them. That's who they're looking for. And guess who has natural depth to them, which means they have a high sensibility to the conversation and what's going on? Yeah, you're who they're looking for. I know you're probably like, wait a minute, I don't know if I signed up for this. Well, hey, I'm not trying to throw you into this. I just want you to know, if you've been thinking you have a higher purpose in your life besides what you're currently doing, I validate that. There is a higher purpose. These people are looking for you. And these people are at their rock bottom. They're either in the gray zone or they're almost to the rock bottom. And some of them are even at the rock bottom, because if we look at divorce rate, suicide rate, bankruptcy rate, family separation rate, and businesses closing down, that's a lot of people in the gray bar and in the red bar. There's a lot of people. And they could not find the answer. With all the resources, they could not find the answer. Guess why? Because they needed somebody to talk to. That's what they needed. Someone to talk to. They had enough of the other stuff. It's like, I need someone to talk to figure this out. What's going on? And they want somebody who can listen more than just listen to their words. Somebody who's really listening and that can turn around and interpret what they're hearing. It's you. It's us. This is why we need to be more active and like own our spot, even though we're the 1 out of 30 or the 1 out of 300. It's like we get to be this person because they've tried working with others who don't know how to listen and they don't know how to interpret. And they're not using their sensibility. They're just doing the next step that is a surface step, trying to help them from this point on with no help from the past. But Kirk, isn't this therapy? No, it's called problem solving. We're not therapists. Well, maybe you are. Maybe you are. I'm not a therapist, but it's okay to talk about what happened last week. You don't have to be a therapist to talk about what happened last week. And you don't have to be a therapist to talk about what happened last month. That's called history. You're helping people. You're helping them because this is what's happening. Everybody has a thinker. Everybody has a feeler, right? And then in this world, there is positive, there's negative. And if you have positive thinking and positive feelings, man, you're in a good place. But if you have negative thinking and negative feelings, you're at the bottom. And when you're at the bottom, you start having thoughts to not be alive anymore or to quit whatever you're doing if you've got negative thinking and negative feelings. So we have a thinker, we have a feeler. There's positive, there's negative. Kirk, it's more complicated than that. I know, but we're just talking about the simplicity of this, that this is what's happening to people because what we think and what we feel ultimately affects what we do. And so what we're doing or not doing is based upon what's going on inside of our head. And if we have some positive in our thinker and feeler, but it's also being overtaken by negative, yes, we might have some positive in us, but we could have more negative, which then puts us in debt. We're emotionally in debt. And so that person who's emotionally in debt is not going to do well because there's two negatives and one positive. Do the math. You're still in the negative, even though you have some positivity about you, but people don't understand this. They don't think that negativity does anything to you. They don't. People don't think that negativity does anything to them. Look at all the psycho movies out there. People are going to the movies. Look at all the psycho shows on TV. People are watching them. And people let negativity roam around in their head. They think it's not a terrible thing, but it's killing people. So people think, oh, I'm positive. Yeah, you got one, but you got two negatives. You're in debt. And that's going to take you emotionally in debt, mentally in debt, financially in debt, time in debt, relationship in debt. You're going to be in debt everywhere. If your brain's in debt, if your heart's in debt, all your relationships are going to be painful because your heart is in debt. So this is very human to talk about this. Very human, very friend to friend, neighbor to neighbor, father to son, mother to daughter, spouses, siblings, parents. This is very human to talk about this, but it's not being talked about because people in homes don't know how to talk about this. So they try to search the internet. They can't find anything. And so they're looking for people to help them. And they're like, I don't know who to look for, but we got to be the kind of people that show up and stand out and say, hey, I can help you with this because you're not doing well. You got negative. You're not doing well. You're tired. You're overwhelmed. You sleep in. You don't want to get anything done. You're not getting stuff done. You're behind. Well, that means your thinker and feeler is cluttered with negativity. Yeah, they can see positive. They feel like they're positive, but they're in debt and they don't even know it. And so we come along and we start to go, hey, I can help you choose a path. We can work on your head. We can work on your emotions. It's very human to talk about that. There's nothing wrong with talking about thoughts and emotions. Every one of us have them. Every one of us have them. Why don't we talk about them? Oh, yeah, because people don't talk about them. But you can coach people on this. I can train you how to do this. And if you don't want training, at least talk to your friend and say, hey, how are you thinking? What are you thinking about? What are you feeling about? Because that's going to affect what they do if they go down this way, or if they just stay the same and they plateau, or if they can move up. It's huge. But what's happening to people is this, is that the negativity from the world is consuming their thinker and their feelings and what they do. And so they're heading down this slope and they have no idea how to turn around, but they want help. And we can be the kind of people to help them. And so there's a great need. And every day that clicks by, there's more people who are sliding down this slide and they're hitting the bottom and they don't know how to go back up. And so there's a great need for this. And so what needs to happen is you decide you're going to start using your gift, your empath gift. And yes, you can get your life organized. You can pull your life all the way together, and you can work hard every single day to get your life pulled together. But if you don't activate your gift, look, there's a hole in your life. There's a missing piece. I tried hard trying to put my life together every weekend, every day, trying to put my life together. And I did not want to put my gift in there because I felt like an oddball. So I tried really hard to get my life all organized, all pretty, get my house in order, get all my files in order, but I still felt empty. That's what empty looks like right there. Your life is in order, but it's missing your gift. What if you plugged in that gift? What if you took it and went, okay, Kirk, I'm going to use it. You say every time I use it, it gets stronger. Fine. I'll start using it. Maybe I'll put it in there. And maybe you're scared to put it in there because it might activate everything. It might change your life. It might change your world. It might cause you to start doing things, helping people. And I know you hide it because it feels odd, because you're not being a mechanic or a landscaper or an author. You're an empath. And that's just weird. No, it's not. It's a beautiful gift. And I'm highly encouraging you to take that gift and considering putting it where it goes, right in the middle of your life, and activate this empath gift. So with the right training, you can use your gift and use life coaching skills to help other people. When I was growing up as a kid, I didn't do well in school at all. My brain did not want to learn. It was a mess. But I learned as I was growing up in this world as being an adult. The reason why I was depressed is because I was receiving inspiration from people and also from my creator on how to help people, but I wasn't expressing it. And I felt like I just had 1,000 pounds squishing me. I just felt heavy, down, and it literally shut me down. But once I started activating my mind and started using it to help people, all of my messes in my life started to become advice that I could give people. Like my own life turned into this place where I could actually start to help people. And now this is big thinking, but I started teaching group coaching classes. Group coaching. You could teach more than one person. If you want to be in front of people, I could teach you how to become a group coach. And you could be teaching 10, 15, 20 people at the same time. Imagine all these people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, let's say there's 25 people. Okay, I didn't count them all. Let's say there's 25. And let's say they came over to my house for a group coaching and they all paid $20 for 3 hours coaching at my house. Do you know that 3 hours for 25 people for $20 is $500? What would you do with $500 extra this month? What would you do with $500? And that's only $20 a person. Wow. What if they paid 30? Well, now it's 30 times 25 is what? Let me get my calculator. I can't do math very fast. So it's 25 people times 30 equals $750 for 2 or 3 hours coaching. And they paid $30. Like the math is crazy amazing. You helping people for an affordable price. Life coaching doesn't have to be expensive. So I started helping people, and wow, when I started helping people, my advice and my training got better and better. And the same thing's going to happen to you. The more you get in front of people, the more you're going to tune in your abilities to be able to help people. I'm not turning you into a seminar leader. Okay. If that's something you want to do, wow, I could teach that to you, but I love helping people. So I built lots of classes, lots of courses, but they were all coaching programs. And what I want to do is I want to be able to help you like think this way of going, wow, my gift can help people. And it also could provide an incredible income for you to be able to pay your bills on time and for you to be able to have extra money to do things. How would that be if you took your gift and put it where it goes? Maybe the answer to your prayer is use your gift. Maybe that's an answer to your prayer is quit hiding your gift and put it in where it goes. Use it. Help people. But Kirk, I'm not that good at it. You can learn. All of us can learn. We can always learn. Clear till we're 103 years old, we can learn, right? So coaching is helping people get from point A to point B because they don't know how to get there. It's also helping them get through the things that they're stuck on. It's also helping them get through their mental walls, helping them get their life organized. Even if you aren't organized, you can help somebody else get organized. I know, let that one sink in for a moment. What? Their life is going to be more organized than mine? Most likely. Okay, so let me talk to you about the $10,000 as being an empath. So now that we talked about empath and the value of it and what you can do, and also this idea of being able to serve people and have a very affordable price and be able to create incredible, income being able to do this. Let me just talk about this just for a moment and show you some ways in how you can do this. So let's just put in your head right now this thought that you earn $150 an hour doing what you love, which is helping people. You could be on your computer or you could meet with the person in person. Lots of great ways to meet with people. But let's put in your head $150 an hour. Do you have any friends who earn $150 an hour? If you do, it's pretty rare to have a friend who earns $150 an hour. And what if you're doing what you love and you were getting $150 an hour? But just put that in your head and maybe even write a note and stick it on your mirror, $150 an hour. Like you want to learn what it takes to be able to create $150 an hour. You know what that would mean? You could work less hours a week and still make the same you're making right now, plus more. And you actually are teaching people and helping people. So you literally could live your life purpose and take care of your financial needs and have your debts start to be paid off and do extra things with your friends or your spouse or your significant other and your kids. I mean, just whatever your relationships are. So now let's also think, $150 an hour. Well, what do you do in an hour? Well, here's my template of how to allocate your time for 60 minutes and holding a coaching session for 1 hour. I'm not going to walk through all the detail because I figure you're probably just taking pictures of everything I'm doing anyway. So get a snapshot, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But that's a template of how to use an hour and be very effective as a coach. Now, something I want to point out is, look, training is 15 minutes. If you could coach for 15 minutes, you could hold a 1 hour appointment. Coaching is not 1 hour of wisdom. It's 15 minutes of wisdom with the other important components of coaching. It's 15 minutes of an hour. I think you know enough. You could help somebody for 15 minutes and then do the other steps. It's not 60 minutes of having to know everything. It's 15 minutes. And if you don't have content like to teach people, well, I have content and you can even get a license to use my content. But I could help you with content. I could help you know how to do the $150 an hour. But just put this in your head that's possible. Because right now, if your brain's discounting it, okay, just let your brain know that it's possible and that there's actually a template, a format of how to do this. In fact, here's another type of thing to put into your head, just another template. There's a structure. It's important to build your confidence in yourself, as you go to help people. And there's certain things that I coach up and coming coaches about how to build their confidence. organizing your content, things you would like to teach people. If you don't have any content to teach, I have a coaching program that's already done. And I've been using it for 17 years. You can use my program. Really. You could use my program and you could start coaching. And I'll teach you how to do this. Like, you don't even have to have your own content. Bring what confidence you have. I'll help you build it. I'll teach you how to use the content. Then you start helping people. They become interested in what you're doing because you're different and you are like, wow, to them. Then those who are interested in working with you, they enroll with you. You now have clients, and now you have an in-home business, and you get to do what you want to do. You get to fulfill your purpose in life by helping people, make it affordable for them based upon the level in which they want to work with you. And you could do one-on-one with people, or you could do a group of people online like this, or in person. So many great things. So there's 3 things I want to get in your head. $150 an hour is possible for you. How you use your time, I can teach you how to do that. And content, I can help you do that. So if you could believe that this is possible, if you could believe this is possible, that you could handle an hour talking to somebody, and you are open to follow a structure, you could do really good at this. Really. I'm serious. You could do good at this. Now, you got to know that to be good at something, you have to keep doing it until you get good, right? It's called practice. But anybody who sticks with it just gets better and better, but you have to stick with it. You have to stick with it. And I know that some people don't stick with it. They get weird thoughts in their head that they can't do this, or they just don't have a structure, or they don't follow a structure, and they don't have content. And so, yeah, a person can get lost along the way, but I know where people get lost. I know where they fall off the path. And that's why I like to help people be successful by showing them the path and what to do, and be able to have great content to do that. So really, I'm here to help you. If you want to step into using your empath gift, learning more about it, how to use it, and also learn some life coaching skills. So I'm going to give you some examples of different coaching programs, and really what the income potential is, or the pricing you could offer people for coaching. That is like what's going on in the world right now. So I got 3 examples, I think, 1, 2, 3 examples I'll show you. And it's just incredible what can happen. So earnings disclaimer, I'm going to read this off to you. You are not going to immediately make $10,000 in a month. I can't promise that to you. It takes dedication and hard work beyond what you have ever experienced. Many people put in long hours and work hard and don't get a return on their investment from the education and training they get from 3 Camels or other outside programs. Currently, I have 4 programs, and together they generate over $1 million a year for the last 13 years. The type of results are not common and takes an immense amount of training, dedication, and a well-skilled team. So, disclaimer. And let me jump into this. So the coaching program I have, it's called the Essentials of Self-Mastery. What if you had a coach program that's already done for you, and it's all done? It's got client worksheets. It's got a facilitator guide, and you had 5 appointments that you were offering to people to coach them on. You could do it from your computer or meet with people one-on-one. You'd hold 1 appointment, one-hour appointment each week. The cost of this program for somebody else would be $750. That's very average for this, to be able to do this. Most coaching right now is between $100 to $150 per hour. That's just very standard all the way around the world. There's $100 to $150 per hour. And that's just base level right there. Some people go less than that, and some people go more than that, but this is very, very, very standard. So this would give you $150 per hour while you're coaching the person. And you don't even have to have your own content. You could use my content, and I'll teach you how to teach it. You bring the empath gift, I'll bring the content. We'll stick them together, makes you a great coach. Cool. So let's look at this. Let's look at this right here. So if you did this part-time and you decided to have 2 people that you worked with, let's just say you have clients you work with and you're going to hold 2 1-hour appointments a week. 2 1-hour appointments a week times 4 weeks, right? So that's just 2 1-hour appointments a week. You could be bringing in $1,200 extra dollars a month. And that's doing 2 1-hour appointments a week at this particular price. That's amazing. 2 1-hour appointments a week. Look at this. What if you decide to go full-time at this level and you had 5 1-hour appointments? That means 1 appointment a day. You had 1 appointment on Monday. You had 1 appointment on Tuesday. You had 1 appointment on Wednesday, 1 appointment on Thursday, 1 appointment on Friday. And then you did that each week. That would bring in $3,000 a month. And you're offering a coaching program for $750 for 5 appointments with content that I've used for 17 years that works. And you didn't even have to come up with the content. Or let's say on Monday, you held all 5 appointments. Mondays was coach day. And Monday you held all 5 appointments. Then you wouldn't have any other appointments the rest of the week. And you're going to bring in $3,000 a month. So you could do 1 appointment a day or 5 all in one day. And then the other days you don't have appointments. Wow. That's amazing. And the person's happy because they're getting coaching from you. They got someone to talk to. It's like they're so stinking excited because they finally have someone to talk to who's really helping them. Okay, so now I'm going to move it up. Okay, I'm going to just kind of expand your thinking here. Hope you're taking notes or screenshots. So now let's say you're using the exact same program, but now you're going to use all 10 appointments because there's more to the essentials of self-mastery, right? And you decide to do video from home. You're going to do 1 appointment each week, 2-hour appointments. Now, instead of 1 hour, it's 2 hour. So we bumped up from 1 hour to 2 hour. And you're offering this coaching program for $5,000. I know that's a big jump. I'm just giving you some ideas here how this works. So that's $250 per hour. Have you ever done this, Kirk? Yes. I've been coaching for 17 years. So if you did this part-time, because now it's a 2-hour appointment and you're more experienced because you've done the other level for a while. Now you're more experienced. You're doing 2 appointments a week for 4 weeks. That's generating $2,000 a month, $250 per hour. If you decide to go full-time with 5 appointments, 1 on each day of the week or 5 on Monday, you could be bringing in $5,000 a month with 1 appointment a week, 1 appointment a day during the week. That's $5,000 a month. Or you do all your 5-year appointments on Monday and Tuesday or Monday. You're the boss. You decide how your schedule works when it's open. Okay, stretch your thinking just a little bit more. 10 appointments. They're 1 appointment a week. They're still 2 hours. And now you're offering it for $10,000. Now you're earning $500 per hour. Your friends won't believe you. They'll be like, what? This is crazy talk. It's not crazy talk. There are people who will pay $10,000 because if you're experienced and you've been coaching for a while, when I say a while, I'm talking at least 6, 7, 8 months of coaching. If you are really good at it, you could be at $10,000 for your coaching package. And they are happy to sign up for that. Very happy because they know you will be able to help them save them $10,000. That's why they're willing to pay it to you. And if you're thinking nobody will do that, you are not in the world of coaching and you don't understand what's happening in the world of coaching. People will pay $10,000 to get their problem solved. They will. So let's do experienced professional, and you're doing 2 2-hour appointments a week all month. That brings in $4,000 a month. Or if you decide to go full-time, which is 5 2-hour appointments. Oh, these you can't do all in one day. That's a long day. You have to do them in 2 days. So you got Monday, Tuesday, you do coaching. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you don't do coaching. And now you're doing $10,000 a month. I know that's kind of big to show you, but I just want to just open up your mind to the possibility. And if you're like, Kirk, whoa, that's a lot. Okay, let's go back here. So let's go back here to this particular coaching package. You don't have to have content. I have content. You bring your empath skill, the level you understand it. I'll coach you with everybody else who's in my program called the Coach Fast Track program. And I'll coach you. I'll teach you. I'll train you. I'll share everything I've got with you. As much as you can absorb, you will have content from me to literally put you in a position to do amazing. And this is the going rate across the globe of $100 to $150 per hour. And then you bring your empath skill, and with these coaching skills, it would make you amazing from the very, very, very beginning. Now, remember, you got to bring your confidence, what you have, and I'll help build your confidence. I'll show you where confidence loses its power, and I'll show you how to build that. And also, I'll bring my content. You can use my content. I'll give you a license to use it. And I'll give you support and training and guidance. And then you connect with people, start solving problems, start helping them. People are going to want to work with you. You now have clients. Boom, here you go. And you can start right here. Even if you only had one client, just one client, that's $750 over the next 5 weeks. I don't know who would turn down $750. I don't know. I think that would go good. It would pay for some gas, wouldn't it? And now you're changing people's lives, and you can fill your gas tank with your coaching money. Or you use that money now because the cost of food has gone up. And so now you can finally go back and get some groceries and fill your pantry back up. I'm telling you, instead of sitting around wondering what you're going to do, use your gift to help people, because people are looking for the help you can give. If you don't know how to do it, I can teach you how to do it. And again, this is the structure of an hour. All the components of how this works. I just want to open up your mind and stretch your thinking of like, wow, I'm seeing how empath works. I'm seeing the need of the empath in the world. And we are rare kind of people. And here I'm offering to help you and to be able to support you so you can be able to serve people at your highest level possible and at least get you on the right track to do this, be able to help people. So what's cool about it is what people say after the coaching. So learning has empowered Lisa. It gave her confidence to change herself, to create lasting change. Kenneth says it opened up his ability to talk to family and friends, gained confidence, knows the answers to help other people. And this is them learning how to coach. Sorry, I said that they're like clients, but they're actually coaching other people. It's worth learning these skills, and only if you want the good things in life. They want fear removed and to learn these skills. There's so many cool things that can happen. And then there's the receiver of coaching. Like this is a mom who sent me a message about their child that they wanted some help with some negative thinking. And so they worked through the negative thinking. And then the child said, hey, can we send Kirk a note? And so they sent me a note to let me know that they're busting and they're winning the battle over negative thoughts. I mean, how cool is that? You could do the same thing. You could be helping somebody else with their kids. Marriages change. I'm not going to read all this, but it's powerful. But where they talk about the learning from the class, they learned their identities, they learned how to connect, they learned their direction. It changed everything. So it's like really, really, really cool. Like you could be coaching a school teacher, and now who the teacher teaches, like this teacher was teaching 300 preschoolers. And I had a chance to share and teach and coach her. And then she takes that information, turns around, helps 300 little preschoolers. I mean, it's like this ripple effect. What you will do if you decide to open up your empath gift and plug it in and put it where it needs to go, you can cause people's lives to change. I don't know how you would feel going to bed with people's lives changing. It's awesome. Where they had a big goal and then they text you and they're like, hey, guess what? I got it. It's like, oh man, it's so cool. So you can learn how to do this. You already have the empath gift. That's the toughest thing to acquire but you already have it because you're here on this webinar. You're still here. So I know that you have the empath gift in you. So what I'm suggesting to you is to consider what I've shared with you, that you have the gift, you could learn some skills, you could learn coaching, and you could do this. It could change your financial outlook from this point on. You get to fill that hole that's inside of you with not using your gifts. So you could start using your gift. It's like it's a really cool pulling the pieces together experience. And so all of this comes together to really just, I want to be here to help you open your mind to the possibilities of what you could do moving forward and doing something different. Not what you've been doing, but to step into your gift even more than what you have been doing. Now, you could be like a really experienced coach and you're like, Kirk, I'm already coaching and I love it. And that's awesome. But I'm still going to challenge you the same way and say, are you using your gift fully? Are you really learning it? Is it kind of in place? And if you're like, no, Kirk, I'm really using it. Okay. How many clients do you have? If you have one-on-one clients, okay, time to move up to group coaching. Start doing YouTube videos. Start doing webinars. There's other places to stretch. So whatever level you're at, there's the next level to stretch. And if you've plateaued, you're the only one, because you could totally hide from family. You could totally hide from friends and act like everything's great, but inside, you're coasting. And if you're coasting, we need to get you going. We need to step up your impact level. So if you're coasting and I'm catching you coasting, then I think this is also a good choice for you. Is the program I have now called the Coach Fast Track program. It's all about learning the next level and being able to move you to that next level of what you can do to influence people. Because the need is gigantic. And if you find yourself coasting, or if you're finding yourself not really taking a step forward, or you're apprehensive, you're still doubting yourself, today's the day to start taking a step forward. And what I mean is plug that gift in. That's number one. That means starting tonight before you go to bed even. You could reach out to somebody and text somebody and say, hey, how you doing? But tomorrow it means really working on turning on that sensibility. Are you paying attention? Are you connecting with the person that's in front of you? Are you really using that empath gift? And find the place that you're not fully using your sensibility to connect with people, because people are really good at hiding their issues. They're really good at acting like everything's fine, but don't fall for it. And if you're somebody right now who's watching this and going, wow, I want to learn this, or I want to know more about this, I'm ready to talk to you. Let's jump on a phone call. Really, let's jump on a phone call. I'll tell you the rest of the details about the program. I'll tell you that all the classes I have been teaching, this is a sample of some of the seminars that I've created over the years, which were fantastic to do. I brought that information as the important parts of the coaching of that information and that skill of teaching into the Coach Fast Track program. And the whole plan is to be able to support you to being better at your gift. And being a life coach is a great way, a great outlet to be able to do this. This Coach Fast Track program is incredible. It's got great support. It's got the content. It's got the actual education to move you forward in the right areas. It literally is built for you. I could talk for a half an hour on the details, but I'm not going to take that time right now to explain it all to you. If you feel like it's time to take action on your empath gift and also step up in your ability to teach other people, then this is what you do next. Go to this link right here, 3ke.2/fast track. Go to that link or go to type that in, and it will send you to a page that talks about the Coach Fast Track program, or you can scan this code with your phone. When you go to that page that talks about the Coach Fast Track program, as you go down through the pages, I think there's 1 or 2 pages you scroll through, you're going to see an orange button. Click that orange button, and it's going to take you to a calendar to book a call. And then I have some appointments this week that are opened up for you and I to get on a phone call and to talk about how Coach Fast Track would help you in moving forward. And I'll give you all the details about the program, the pricing, the length of the program, what's involved, how the license with my content works, and how it really is going to help you boost forward. So if you are interested in taking action on your empath gift and learning how to teach people or upgrading your skills to the next level, go to this link, type it into your phone or type it into your computer. It will take you to that page, which then you'll scroll just 1 or 2 times and you'll see the orange button. Click the button, go to the calendar, book a call. I have some openings tomorrow. I have some openings on my calendar the next day. So Wednesday, Thursday, and then also there's some next Tuesday. So those are my openings for this week. If you want to talk about the Coach Fast Track program, if you're going to book a call and just chit chat with me, no, we got to talk about how you're going to move forward. And I'm going to give you all the details about the Coach Fast Track program so that you can make a decision if now is the right time to fully commit to being what you're designed to do, to teach. So go here, go to that link, find the orange button, click or scan this code. It'll take you to the same place, get the calendar, choose an appointment, and I will jump on the phone with you. And we'll have about a 45-minute conversation, walk through what you're doing, because I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to find out what you're doing, how you're teaching people, where are you at with your empath gift, what kind of training you have, and then I'll tell you about this program, and we'll see if it's a match for you. And if it is, cool, then we'll get you started in the Coach Fast Track program and start to work with me training you with the others that are in the program. And if it's not a match, it's cool. No problem at all if it's not a match. But yeah, let's jump on a call. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about where you're going. Because my purpose is to find those people who are ready to commit. Ready to commit. Because I know what the problems are out in the world. And those people need help. There's not enough good coaches to talk to them. And if you're ready to step up and be that person, then you and I should connect and we should talk because they need help. I know we need help. We all need help, but they need help. And there's a lot of silent sufferers out there that literally live down the street from you, probably even one of your own family members. And there are endless numbers of people who do not understand themselves. And they've got nowhere to go, no one to talk to. That's why I'm here to help you be ready to help them. Because they're going to start looking, they're going to start trying to find somebody. And if you've already been trained, if you've already been prepped, if you're already ready to go, boom, they'll show up. You're able to help them change their life. You're going to feel good. They're going to feel good. And they're so glad that you prepared, that you were mentally ready, you're emotionally ready. And so when they finally found you, you had prepared yourself. And I'm not kidding. This is a very important skill to prepare yourself for the future, because I can tell you right now, there is emotional problems happening in the world, mental problems happening in the world, social problems, all kinds of challenges. Learning these skills is literally a preparedness piece. And that's a whole nother topic I could talk about another day. But seriously, having this skill in your mind and knowing how to do this is going to make you super valuable in the future. Literally, this is not something that's going to go away. It's not. So if you want to plan for the future in having a particular skill that's going to be needed and be helpful to people, this is it. To use your empath abilities and use coaching skills to help people. So my purpose is to get in front of you tonight, to show this to you, to talk about empaths, to talk about how you can generate $10,000 or $1,000 or $500, to pique your interest and to show you that I'm here for you. And also tell you that I have a program that I can talk to you about and see if it's a fit. And if you want to talk, go book a call. Let's talk tomorrow or the next day or on Tuesday, and let's find out if this is a fit. And if it's a fit, let's get you going. Seriously, let's get you going. Because the way I look at it, it's like there's a lot of people in the world. It's like with the internet, you could be teaching people anywhere in the world. It's just amazing how this can happen. There's like no better time than ever than right now to be able to live your purpose at like the highest level. There's this quote from Dr. Seuss from the Lorax. I don't know if you saw this movie, but powerful. My son shared this with me today. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to get better. It's not. So it's up to us. We can sit around wondering, how can we make a difference in the world? And I know what the answer is. Get trained, improve your skills, go help people. And if you don't want to charge people money to coach them, it's okay. You don't have to start a business. You can do this totally as a mission, but let me train you on how to do this really well. I've spent 17 years doing this. Let me show you how to do this at a fantastic way. So go here, book a call with me tomorrow, the next day, Tuesday. Let's talk. I want to know what you're up to. I want to know what's rolling around in your head, what's rolling around in your heart. What have you been inspired to do that you haven't taken action on? And you know you can't hide from God. He's going to keep prompting you. He's going to keep prodding you to go help, go help, go help. And then here we are talking. So let's jump on a call and talk about it. Let's get you moving. I'm not a pushy salesman. Don't worry. You have to choose in. I am not going to convince you to get into this program. No way. You have to want it, because it's not easy. Because this is like, let's just get down to training. Let's do the work. Let's practice. Let's get good. And so if you're kind of, wishy-washy, don't book a call. It's not going to work out for you. But if you're committed, like, I want to make a difference, boom, get on there, get an appointment for tomorrow, next day, or Tuesday, and then let's talk. You know how it works. You help them, right? Boom. You help them. They turn around and they help somebody. And if you've done a great work, they'll even turn around and help somebody. Who will turn around and help somebody? Who will turn around and help somebody? Who will turn around and help somebody? That's what I want to have happen for you. That you're that good. You're that good. That generations of people are continuing to learn from what you've done. That's what I want to have happen for you. You know what you're doing. You're highly skilled at it. You're super confident. And the best part is you're organized in what you're doing. Okay, super cool. All right, I'm going to go. Thank you for showing up here tonight. Thank you for allowing me to share my passion, my mission, my purpose with you. And I hope we get a chance to run alongside with each other. Let's do the work together. We're on the same team. Let's do the work together. Go book a call. Let's talk. Let's see where you're at and what it's going to take to get you to the next level. All right. Thanks again for your time. I love you. And until we talk again, go out there and listen to people. Use that gift. All right. Love you guys. Thanks.